Hey, all right. How's it going? Hard Talk Radio with your host, MrDeadman here. Tonight we're talking about Trevor Henderson's monsters, his creations. Could have reached out to the guy and asked him to come on the show, but I was like, you know what, first let me do this tribute to him, show him that this respect I have for this. Because as a horror fiend myself, let me tell you something. I love it when I see people come out with original monsters, original creations. Maybe some things, maybe a little borrowed from something that we've all seen before, but it's something new, something fresh, and a new spin on things. I swear, this Trevor Henderson guy, not trying to kiss his ass or anything, but he's definitely on it when it comes to creating something new. And this actually kind of follows up with the conversation I had with Ken Stark, the previous episode of Hard Talk Radio, where I was talking with Ken Stark about how, like, you know, there's so much good content out there that it's unbelievable how Hollywood and how these other companies they don't even dip into it. They don't even dip into it. What I'm talking about is creating something new. And now I'm thinking about it. Was it with the episode of Ken Stark? Was it the other one? I'm not sure, but it was one of the prior ones. And that's a big thing too. And let me ask you guys in the chat, in the comment section, are you tired of remakes? Are you tired of the Hollywood reboots? I am. I most certainly am. Like, I want to see some original movies. I want to see original films. I want that. I don't want another Halloween. I don't even want another Evil Dead. They're making Evil Dead 4. They're filming it right now. They're filming Evil Dead 4. Do you want that? I don't want that. Am I going to watch it? Of course, I'm probably going to watch it so I could contribute to it. I mean, don't you want me to watch it so that you know if it's any good or not? I should just say, no, I don't want to watch it at all. Just not watch it, right? Not even contribute to it. And Evil Dead 4, if you want to know, Sam Raimi's not directing it. He passed the torch to somebody else, somebody he trusts. The name escapes me at the moment. Does it have Bruce Campbell in it? No, Evil Dead 4 is not going to have Bruce Campbell in it. It's not going to have Ashy Slashy in it. It's not going to have him. So already it's like, well, okay, are we talking, is this going to be like the Evil Dead reboot? It looks like it's going to be a soft reboot. Or this same situation. It looks like it's going to be more campy, though. It looks like it's going to be more like, from what I've seen from the still, it looks like they're going for campy, cabin in the woods sort of very first Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. More Evil Dead 2, being that was the really over-the-top silly one. Anyway, let's get into this. Trevor Henderson. Now, you guys might already know him. If you do, let me know in the comment section or in the chat. Who is your favorite of the Trevor Henderson creations? There's a lot of them. Okay, we're not going to get through every single creation here today. Honestly, in this hour, we're probably going to get through maybe 3. There's quite a bit to get through. Trevor Henderson. He's Canadian. Being American, well, I could say, there's that. But, the guy seems pretty cool. Okay, the guy seems pretty cool. I mean, he created this stuff. I never liked that. He definitely has a passion for horror. If you ever look at his art styles, in fact, let me bring some of his artwork here on the screen. If you look at Trevor Henderson and want to look at his art, you'll see that he has a passion for horror and will, let's see, let me pull up this piece here. This is, I guess, his recreation of Basket Case, which if you have not seen that movie, definitely do so. Okay. That's some of Trevor Henderson's work. There's another one. This is the... You know what? I'm not going to tell you what movie this is. You should know what movie this is from. You should know what movie this is from. If you don't know what movie this is from, fix that. Fix that, please. Let me know in the comment section if you know what movie this is from, okay? Or in the chat, okay? But this isn't the art that he's really popular for. The art is nice. What he's really known for is more like folk style, sort of like, it almost look like found footage art. The things he creates are things that they have a tendency to go viral. They do. They have a tendency to do that. People are a sucker. They love that found footage look. If you could make a creation that looks legit, looks real, you put it in an environment. You know, when I look at that, I see, okay, obviously it's not real. It's Photoshop, this, that. You know, I could see the imperfections, but it's like, but a lot of kids, a lot of people growing up, they don't notice that, and they see it and they believe it, and man, they start sharing it. It's, you know, part of that creepypasta vibe. Siren Head. There's a mod of that in Fallout. The Thing. Mom's Ravioli, you're right. That is the thing. That was the thing. One of the best characters in the movie, the dog. No one ever talks about the dog. Not really. But probably one of the best characters. Anyway. And Siren Head is also a game. Okay. You know, you can play it. I think Siren Head was created for that game. Really interesting monster. Interesting creation. I talked about it before in a prior stream a while back, but it's so simple and minimalist. It's like, that's it, but that is it. And it's something new, something different. I haven't seen anything like this before. I've seen elements of it before. Like, what do you see on the screen? That's what Siren Head looks like. So you have this very tall creature, like towers over the trees, over the evergreens. Okay. And his body is malnourished. Looks like that of a Holocaust victim. Let's just put it that way. Or a starving Marvin. Or, you know, it looks really bad. Okay. Like, if this thing feasts off human flesh and bones, I don't see it. Because it doesn't seem to ever... I have never seen... Slenderman. I've never seen Siren Head to have a gut. He's always skinny. Super skinny. And then he has these big sirens on his head, which is why he's called Siren Head, obviously. The name is sort of like, well... okay, kind of basic, but it works. You don't need a complicated name. Think of the movie The Thing. What was it? It was an alien. What else was it? A thing? Yep, there you go. Bingo. That's it. That's what we're going to call it, The Thing. You know? You don't need to overly complicate the names for your monsters. You don't. Frankenstein's monster. What's his name? The Monster. That's it. Boom. Timeless classic. Okay? In fact, some people think he's called Frankenstein. No, that's not even the name. That's the name of the doctor that created him. But, you know, I'll give that a pass because most people don't even know. You don't have to complicate it. The cunt. Looks like your average fashion model. Not these days. Not these days with body positivity and all that. Now, there's a story behind these creations as well. In fact, let me show you. Let me give you an example. I want to go into the Siren Head story, but before I get too far out here, let me say a little bit more about Trevor Henderson here. He's a graduate from Ontario College of Art and Design. Now, you don't have to go to college to, you know, make good art. You don't have to do that at all. In fact, I know some people who've never stepped foot in college and produced some really badass designs. But okay, it helps. I'm sure, maybe. Let's see. I know that he got into horror because of his dad, his family. Okay, that makes sense. If I ever get him on the show, definitely want to ask him more about that. Especially about Siren Head. Like, where did this come from? Like, why this? Why this? And as we go through his creations here, you're going to see that they have a sort of a mythological feel to him. He has this ability, I don't know if it's accident or what, or maybe it's something he learned from his days at college, or some sort of insight he picked up, to not just create these things, but put them out there to where they are picked up on, and they become characters in creepypastas and video games. There's a whole section of YouTube dedicated to Trevor Henderson creations. There's a whole bunch of playlists dedicated on Siren Head, Cartoon Cat, Long Horse, all these things. There's so much to go through. There's so many different memes, different videos, different music videos, different cartoons and animations, all dedicated fan base. I am really surprised that Hollywood or no one has come to him for a movie deal. Like how popular Siren Head is, I'm surprised that hasn't happened. This could easily, like with Siren Head, when we get to the origin story here, it could easily be like an X-Files style, like low key, fringe, cryptid sort of case. I could see that. No, this is not weed. This is pure 100% tobacco. How much I smoke? Got a pack of these firewood. Actually, called a Kentucky Fire Cured, really good cigarillos. I was like, but should work just fine for the streams. Anyway, so one example of this, how his creations become kind of like memes, if you will, is the man with the upside down face. Let me show you that real fast. Let's see. Mom's Ravioli says Hollywood is addicted to easy and safe concept these days. Yeah, like comic book movies. But comic book movies, I think, have worn out their welcome. I think the Zack Snyder cut that did it for me. I'm done with comic book movies. I'm good. I'm good, bro. That could be the last one I see. Let's see. Let me put this up here. The man with the upside down face. Now, what he does, and you could say, oh, this is so easy to do. Is it? It is. But it's also genius in that he did it and it's working. Like people are picking it up and spreading it around, spreading the lore around. This photo here, real photo, okay? New Year's Eve party at an Air Force base in 1943. After this photo, a man was severely injured, fatally injured, I should say. In this photo, though, which you probably can't see in this view, maybe I'd change it to this. Yeah, that looks better. Let me take that off the screen, though. What you probably can't tell in the background, though, is a man with the upside down face. It's teeny tiny, teeny tiny. What he is kind of like the Mothman, in that when you see him, he's an omen, a warning that things are about to go down. The shit is about to go down. Here is a car crash. And in the background, you could see what is a man with an upside down face. It's so simple, but yet it catches on. another one right here. So, well, let's go into Siren Head. Let's go into Siren Head real fast. Because Siren Head is like one that's more popular creation. Siren Head, Cartoon Cat, the tunnel worm or the bridgeworm, the bridge face, whatever. I'm missing his name here, I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. These are his popular creations. And let me tell you something. When it comes to creating monsters here, like, we got to look at, before we go into the origins of all these things, I mean, let me make sure I make this point here. When it comes to creating monsters, especially monsters like for horror and for for movie or comics or whatever, like, we got to look at how they were created before. Like when Frankenstein was created, the idea was taking human parts together, put it together, and that was in a book. Okay, that was a book form. That was an idea of just like, if you had this a human being composed of other parts that wasn't really human, wasn't even alive, would it even be alive, and how would it be treated in society and stuff like that? It was like a bigger problem there, bigger issue, social commentary and all that. But you get how other creatures are created, like vampires and stuff. And you take certain folklore, you take certain myths, and you kind of you build upon them. Okay. That has a lot of lore to it. That has a lot of history. But when it comes to like horror monsters, though, like contemporary horror monsters, like let's say Alien from the movie Alien, that one, what H.R. Giger, I think his name is. That monster in Alien, while it looks cool, you know what it is, man? It's a penis. It's a penis. Look at that. Look at that. You have this malnourished body, very skinny, lanky body. He's starving to death, never eats. But then you have the back of his head is a giant phallic symbol. And the dude who designed that, his art looks like this. Just a bunch of penises. Is that not a bunch of penises right there? What is that? You see it? You see it? But it became legendary. Now, Trevor Henderson doesn't have a penis monster. Not that I'm aware of. What I'm saying is, well, some of this stuff might seem kind of silly to you. I don't know, depending on where you are and how you feel about horror monsters. But let's get into it. Let's get into this stuff here. First, let's start off with Siren Head. All right, let's go ahead and put this on the screen here. All right, so this is the story of Siren Head. I'll let this tell itself.
She was on vacation with her husband and they were scoping out graveyards on the way, as you do, when she saw it. Rising out of the old cemetery, big as an old macabre telephone pole, was this some kind of bizarre art piece the authorities hadn't gotten wise to yet? Even as she stepped out of the car, the megaphones on its head screeched to life.
9, 18, 1, child, 17, remove, file.
A buzz.
Okay, see, that would freak me out. If that was a real thing, that would creep me the fuck out. It would you as well. I mean, of course, I'm a jaded bastard who believes like the only monster that's real are human beings, really. But the younger version, the younger MrDeadman, yeah, he would totally believe in this stuff. He'd totally be into it, 100%. But just whether or not you believe it or not, whether or not you think it's realistic or not, think about what you could do with this. With a being that, what he's doing with this, when this woman found the Siren Head thing, and the noise it was making out from its sirens. It makes like distress sounds. It repeats things. But it seems to have some sort of intelligence where it can actually create alarms for the purpose of luring people to, leave their domicile, leave their cabin in the woods or whatever. It could also create voices to mimic those that you may know. Think about what you could do with that. Good stuff. A lot of good stuff.
Doubled voice screamed random words at her. At this point, it jerked into motion, striding down the hill towards her. Special containment procedures. There is someone known as only SCP-6789.
Oh, yes. And a lot of this stuff does sort of relate to the SCP stuff. The SCP and Trevor Henderson's creations sort of kind of share the same space, if you will. And it's kind of interesting to me. As someone who's into horror, I see the SCP stuff. I'm like, what I see when I look at that, the SCP monsters and all that, and how you feel about it, I don't know. But for me, though, when I look at that, so I see potential for these beings to have their own freaking movies, on freaking shows, whatever. I mean, they need to come to life. They could, but it's, potential.
SCP-6789 is to be kept at all costs in a room of at least 20.8 meters in length and width. SCP-6789 must always be kept in his cell and cannot be released at any time. If occurrence of a breach in the facility happens, the cell of SCP-6789 has to be protected. No one must ever have access to the creature's cell, even if it may cost you your life. This creature is known as Siren Head. He is an urban legend creature, mainly known for his odd appearance. Siren Head is a 40-foot tall, skinny humanoid creature with two sirens as its head. The creature's arms extend all the way down to the floor.
See, like, if I was going to write a horror novel based on this, or like a horror movie based on this or whatever, like it definitely wouldn't be an 80s flick, an 80s style camp session, camp fest. This wouldn't be like an Evil Dead sort of style thing. This could easily be like an X-Files sort of episode, maybe a special. Maybe, maybe a 45-minute run, maybe 60 minutes. Okay. You could have it where there's hikers that were hearing this siren, whatever, and they were lured by it, and then boom, they go missing. Boom. Okay. And you sort of follow up on that, because this thing would blend in the woods, so you wouldn't see it easily. I don't know. I mean, if it's living, I guess you would see it. Well, I don't know if you should be able to detect heat if it's living. If it's a living organism, it's going to produce heat. Unless it's like a vampire is living, but yet it doesn't produce any heat. Okay. All right. I mean, it does have two sirens for the head. I'm curious about that. But you would only go in the woods with that stuff if you know what it is you're looking for. All right.
With its fingertips reaching the ends of its legs. Its neck is covered with wires extending upwards towards its head. The wires connect to two megaphones pointing in the opposite direction. This is Siren Head.
Oh, I think of an even better Siren Head. Like, Wi-Fi blocker head. Dude, think about the chaos that would create. Wi-Fi blocker head. All he is whatever device it is that just blocks, shuts down Wi-Fi connection of all sorts. Just shutters connections. No cellular data, no Wi-Fi, nothing. It's EMP head. Okay, he just walk around and he just emits like this EMP shit. So like when he goes into the towns, the U.S. towns or whatever, everything's shut down. Like The kids aren't on their fucking Wi-Fi anymore. They're not on their Xbox Live or PS5, whatever it is they're doing, and they can't stream their porn. They can't stream their Netflix. They can't Netflix and chill. Oh my God, freaking chaos. They couldn't text. They couldn't call. They could do any of that stuff. And that would be cool. EMP head, man. Now that would be pure chaos.
Siren Head seems to be able to communicate using radio broadcasts, being able to pick up signals from various places, and even unknown dates with certain phrases to set up a dialogue, and also imitating nuclear invasion alarms and so on.
Okay, he could do that. Like, he can sort of mimic... He can mimic alarms, like nuclear alarms. He can mimic voices and stuff. So even without jamming stuff, how he's built right now, I mean, as is, a Siren Head as is, I mean, he could create havoc. Situations. It's once the disappearance become a pattern, that's when it's like, okay, we're gonna look for it. And when you see it, it's like, okay, how do we take this thing down? I'm sure it might. I don't know if it's. I don't see how it would be able to jam audio or jam communications, but it could probably disrupt with very loud sounds, like disrupt people's ears, maybe cause their eardrums to burst, shit like that. That would make it annoying. But I'm curious what, a couple of well-trained, well-aimed 50 cals would do to this Siren Head.
Therefore, Siren Head can control the audio of the transmission as much as it wants, and may even cause immediate death or even coma. Its appearance seems...
Immediate death? Immediate coma? Are there certain audio frequencies that could cause a coma? What? I don't know about that. Immediate death? I don't know about that either. Like, what if it could mimic the voice of your mom? And she's like, Siren Head uses the voice of your dear old mother. It says words like, I wish you were never born. The wire hanger was too short. I thought I had it, but you were born anyway. I thought falling down the stairs would be enough. And then when your dad hit me in the stomach with the baseball bat, and you still came. That might drive you to off yourself. I don't know. Like, I could see how this thing could mess with people's heads, be psychological and stuff. Would make for a good movie, depending on how you do it. Like, it couldn't. This would have to be handled with care, and I don't know who could pull it off, really. Okay. Who could pull it off? A Siren Head movie. Maybe Chris Nolan?
to be well malnourished and of an obscure coloration, as if burned very well by its smell of burnt flesh. It is also theorized that Siren Head can make a false alarm of nuclear war and end up creating one. The first depiction of Siren Head was at a graveyard, where a photograph of Siren Head standing in the middle of graves appeared.
See, I like how that looks. And this is the art we're talking about here. This stuff here. Obviously, you know, we look at that, we go, oh, that's cool. I mean, when I see it, I'm like, okay, that's cool design. You know, it's not real, it's cool. But when a kid sees that, oh, man. Oh. They'd be like, oh, man, that looks real. The lighting seems on par. I mean, the shadow would be behind him, so that's... Wait. Yeah. I mean, it looks like there might be a shadow here. That could just be a rock. It's hard to really tell. It's not perfect. It doesn't even need to be perfect. Are you kidding me? Because the kids these days are convinced just about by anything. You know?
Siren Head's speakers randomly play odd music, pieces of conversations, and various words and numbers. Siren Head mainly lures in its victims with the voices of their loved ones.
See, they're just saying, using the voice of your loved ones. So Siren Head could lure me out right now and kill me by using the voice of my wife. Oh, man. Tell me I need to go outside or... Dude, I could see that. I could see how this could totally mess with people, taunt them, get people out of their homes for a little snack. Yeah, I can see that shit. Dogs got out again. Go get the dogs. Or how about here? Come out here. Honey, what are you doing out there? Just come out here. Just come out here. Okay. You go looking around, and you just get grabbed. Now, I guess it eats you somehow. I guess there's teeth in the megaphone thing, and the siren thing. Okay.
As expected, Siren Head is very hostile and dangerous. Siren Head is mainly located in rural towns and wooded areas.
Like Cold
The
Spring,
victims of
Texas.
Siren Head are lost travelers, hikers, and even little children. If the sounds of someone in distress are heard, it can be a method of Siren Head trying to lure the victims into the woods. Since Siren Head can blend in very well with trees, people do not even notice Siren Head.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice. I honestly didn't even notice the Siren Head thing right here. Okay, that was pretty good. I didn't notice it until I started zooming into it. Okay. All right, that's kind of interesting.
So it could make its brutal attack at any time and get captured while the screams of the victim are being played from Siren Head sirens. Siren Head was then discovered around the Himalayan mountains in 1986.
Oh shit, it goes to the mountains. How does it get up there?
Shortly after reporting high siren alerts and unusual sounds playing from the radio. Rumors started to form of what it could be. Some brave adventurers went to the
Oh, here we go. Let me guess. It failed. They fired all their guns, but they couldn't take it down.
affected area to find out for themselves and were never seen again. The government
And they stopped caring about it. Oh, we just lost some soldiers going into the woods there. Never mind.
soon ordered an evacuation of the area near where Siren Head was and conducted an operation called Operation Radio to learn about the entity within the forest. The military unit sent into Siren Head's territory ended up reporting a huge ringing alarm, which ended up destroying half of the troops' hearing, causing permanent
Okay. So yeah, destroying hearing. All right.
hearing loss.
And probably death.
The other half immediately died due to the ringing sounds, causing their brain
So their brains can explode due to the ringing. That's okay. That's an interesting thing to do with a couple of sirens there. So you can emit various frequencies with it. Yeah. All right. Interesting.
to explode in the process. The rest of the troops tried to run.
What's the frequency that causes people to loosen their bowels and shit their pants? Can Siren Head produce the brown note? That's what I want to know now. Can Siren Head produce the brown note to cause people to shit their pants? That thing is real, right? Or is that just a South Park joke?
But one of them was caught by the long arms of the creature, instantly ripping the soldier in half. In total, at least 14 deaths were reported on the mission. The area has since been closed off to the world, with a no-fly zone and entry within a 10-mile radius.
Okay, see, that's where creepypasta fails. I like creepypasta stuff, but where it fails is, oh, okay, so we just lost some soldiers, and we're just gonna make it a no-fly zone and no one go there. Are you kidding me? If that thing is real, we wouldn't stop there. It'd be like, oh, man, we gotta go after this thing. We need to take this shit down, capture it, see what it is. That's what the military would do. U.S. military, Russian military, China military, makes no fucking difference. They would want to capture that motherfucker, dissect that thing, see what it's about, and they're gonna do that. Maybe the public won't know anything about it, They'll just say, "Oh yeah, we're fighting for oil or some shit. There's a civil war that we have to take care of. So let's go carpet bomb the trees." Let's see how Siren Head. Let's see if Siren Head is still standing when the mother of all bombs is dropped on it. How about that?
Years later, a survivor of Operation Radio creates a video game named Siren Head, where the player, portraying a forest ranger, is supposed to escape from Siren Head inside of
I mean, I would play that game, but you see the graphics there. Oh, now I'm going to be a snob about graphics. Now that my computer's a little bit better, it can play other stuff.
the woods while searching for a missing hiker. At the beginning of the game, the player starts at 2 ramps with their car. Eventually, the player turns around.
Yeah, the game looks like Minecraft. Like, on a product, like not, yeah, it's... Can you punch trees? If you're going to look like Minecraft, can you punch trees?
And starts exploring the woods. Further on, the player sees various scratch marks along the ground and a few...
Okay. So that's Siren Head. That is Siren Head. Let's go into some other creations here, because there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit to get through. Let's see. I think we could get into... We might be able to get into Cartoon Cat. Let's see what I have up here next. I'll get the ancient history of Siren Head. Creating more and more lore around this thing. Oh, the country road creature. Okay, let's get into that. Well, Cartoon Cat's up here. So Cartoon Cat's interesting. Believe it or not, this photo here, people eat this stuff up. They do. You might be like, oh, that looks fake. Like I said, totally dedicated fan base on YouTube. Totally dedicated fan base on Twitter, Facebook, all over the place about this stuff. A homicidal cat, a cartoon cat thing that's not even really a cartoon cat. He looks like something from the 1930s, late 1930s, and that's his lore. It's from a cartoon supposedly around 1939. The cartoon was canceled, and that might be the reason why this creature lurks about or whatever. But apparently it's not just what you see isn't really what it is. It's kind of like Pennywise and It, where Pennywise isn't really it. It's just one of the forms of it. So based on that, what you see as Cartoon Cat could actually also be I guess it takes the form of whatever popular cartoon that is, so that it could try to, I guess, appeal to the young and lure them to their to his his abandoned domicile and kill them. That's it. All right. So he could look like SpongeBob. He could look like Homer Simpson. He could look like, I guess, Vegeta. Look like Goku. Lure some weebs into a van, kill them. Shit. That's Cartoon Cat. That's Cartoon Cat. Even with how weird and cheesy it looks, it works well. Like, it works well for creating like a creepypasta sort of horror lore around it. Like, if this was turned into a show or to a movie, this could probably have a more sort of a campy sort of vibe to it. Since that's what it's... I mean, it seems like it would have that sort of a... sort of vibe. Let's see. My only question is, with this art, is... where's his feet? I don't see any feet. I don't see any feet. Does he not have... He has like peg legs. He'll just stab you with his feet. He'll grab you and stab you with that shit and impale you. All right. All right. And actually, one of my other favorite creations of his, though, is this guy. The Hush. His name's Hush. Hush. All he is, what he does, this thing, is its lore, its creepypasta story, is that it likes to live in the back of a movie theater. And you guys will love this. If you guys ever went, remember cinemas, remember movie theaters before COVID, and you can go and actually watch a movie. You pay the ticket, you spend $20 for popcorn and another 20 on soda, and you go watch the movie. And there's all these loud motherfuckers around you. They don't shut the fuck up. The movie's playing, and they don't shut the fuck up either. You're just hoping, wishing that there'd be somebody to say hush and shut them up. That's what this guy does. He's in the back. He says hush. And if they don't listen to him after the third time, he shuts them up. He uses psychic powers or whatever to shut them up for good. At least for the duration of the movie. At least for the duration of the movie. He's nice. He just wants to watch a bunch of movies. Even the shitty remakes, even the shitty reboots, this entity just wants to go watch movies. It's like, okay, well, interesting creature, but he's kind of doing me a favor. So I kind of want him around. I kind of want him to be real. I don't care how ugly he looks. I don't care if he reeks of urine and shit. If he's shutting everybody up in the theater, looks like I'm not going to worry about that anyway, right? Here's the county road man, the country road creature. This thing though is pretty interesting. This is pretty cool. The country road creature. Let's play part of this here.
Country road creature. Two traumatized college girls reported something following them all throughout their trip home. Pictures of their damaged car recovered from their phones reveal inhuman images of the creature in question. The agency interfered when they tried to post them to social media. They were hit with a federal gag order to stay quiet or face jail time. The agency is keeping really quiet about the country road creature, named because of its preferred hunting grounds. It disguises itself as a hitchhiker and...
Okay, I like how it looks like a cryptid. Like, it looks like one of those cryptid photos you'd see. And, man, I like cryptids. I do. I wish they were real. If I saw something like this on the county roads, man, I'd freak the fuck out. I would. Tall, lanky looking. Apparently it stretches pretty far and it follows you. Just follows you. And if you think you're going to go to a home and be safe there, no. It knows where you went and it's going to surround you in your home. So like its body sort of just grows around or whatever. His hand might even go inside the house. Cool campfire story.
Wanders the off-beaten roads in the country. When it sees its prey, that is, humans, it'll wave them down and try to get into their cars. After that, it's not long before the victim's car is discovered abandoned, keys still in the ignition. What's worse is if the person doesn't pick...
Oh, that's right. He also has a smaller, more human form where he can wave someone down and, hey, I just need a ride. Okay. And he kills you.
Pick them up. If they had slowed down enough for it to catch their scent, it will follow them. It'll go into the woods and rapidly decompress itself into a massive, elongated form and pursue them for miles and miles. Escaping to buildings or populated areas does not deter the creature's hunt either. Going to a house will just cause it to wrap itself around the building, where it will reach in with limbs that can stretch for miles. Once it finds a person, it'll grab and retract its limbs with amazing speed to pull them out of the building. After that, it'll retreat into the woods and no trace of the victim will be found.
So there's no running. There's no running at all. And no trace will be found, so I guess it eats the clothes too. It just eats everything. It takes everything from you. Okay. That's cool. Like I said, cool campfire story.
The girls in question encountered the country road creature on a trip from New York to California. They came across it in Oklahoma as it was disguised as a hitchhiker. They felt nervous about the figure and didn't pick them up, but at that point, the creature caught their sense. It followed them to a nearby bed and breakfast and waited until nighttime when everyone was asleep. One of the girls accidentally woke up and saw it pacing outside their window in the front yard below. That girl got scared and woke up her friend, who quickly decided to call the police. At that point, the creature...
Oh, it was staring into the window. Let me show you this image. These images are pretty cool looking. This right here. Let me in. Open the door. Open the door. I just want to talk to you. Just want to talk. It's a simple conversation. I'm a feminist. Let me in.
must have gotten tired of waiting. The country road creature uncompressed itself and, before the two horrified women, wrapped itself around the two-floor bed and breakfast. From their report, it rammed its hand through the window and started reaching, prompting them.
See, that's cool. Now, this would be a cool horror movie. It would be. Like, this creature would be perfect for it. Like, let me reframe this. Go back to how this whole episode's framed. Look, when it comes to how to create horror monsters, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You create original creations. All right. And there's all this stuff out there. Like, Trevor Henderson has a bunch of original creations out there. And while that exists, you have Hollywood, instead of creating their own original creations again, they're just regurgitating the same thing over and over again. It's like they don't need to do that. Like, especially with the popularity of this stuff. They get this. The kids that love this, man, the teens that love this, the young adults that love this stuff, they will go to that theater and watch that shit. Some of you guys, maybe you're my age and be like, I could see the appeal. I could see how this could work. Maybe the monster isn't believable to me, but I could see how it can be worked, and I could see how, like I said earlier, I see its potential. Definitely.
To flee the room. The arm followed them down the stairs, bashing the walls hard enough to put holes and dents as the whole house started shaking.
And if they ever did make a movie out of this, what they need to not do is explain how it goes from human form to this stretched out long form. You don't need to explain why your horror monsters, horror creatures do the things that they do. Let it be ambiguous. Like the thing. Like they sort of did explain that it sort of they did kind of explain what it does and how it does it, sort of, but it was still vague enough. Like, you didn't really know the origins of the thing. You didn't really know its original form. You just knew that it tried to assimilate. It's another example. Okay, a human monster. Let's take like one of my favorite horror movies, Halloween, the original, or Michael Myers, just the figure. And that was just like a William Shatner mask. That's all that was. But they didn't explain what Michael was. They only explained that in the Rob Zombie's version, where they really, really explained the backstory, which was interesting at the time. But honestly, it takes away from the horror factor of not knowing who that thing is. Long story short, it's better to not know what it is.
The creature was also squeezing the house from the outside, putting strain on the structure and risking it imploding. They were able to make it down to the living room and hid under a table as the arm reached the room a moment later, hitting everything in order to find them and grab them. It was fortunate the table they hid under was solid wood and hard to actually break. The girls only escaped the situation by one of them risking her life. She crawled on the ground, cutting up her legs on broken glass in the process, and was able to open the basement door. The questing hand, sensing the open door, quickly went down the basement stairs. It gave the girls enough time to get out of the house and into their car. The creature saw them and had to extract its limb. It was enough time for them to start the car and drive away, making the creature roar and destroy the house in its hurry.
See, this is a cool story. This story itself would make for a pretty decent either horror short and some sort of anthology, though those are kind of hit and miss. Even if it's a good short and a horror anthology, it might get lost with all the other stuff. I think it's better for it to just be a standalone film. And I think esoteric kino knowledge. Okay, yeah. Hollywood likes safe bets. They know if they just remake something or use a known property, they're gonna at least a marginal profit. At least, yeah, that's the thing, right? They want a safe bet. They want to just regurgitate the same. People like Halloween. Let's just make another Halloween. People like Evil Dead. Let's just make another Evil Dead, which, like I said, they're doing now. Evil Dead 4. I honestly do not want to see it, but how this channel is framed, of course, I'll see it and tell you guys about it, obviously. Maybe I'll watch it live and just stream my reaction. I mean, with Evil Dead 4, how are they going to... why are they even doing that when it's not going to have Ash in it? And it looks like it's going to be filmed in a... It looks like it's going to be campy like the first two. Not like serious like the Evil Dead remake was. Man. I can't believe... I don't like that they're doing that. Going back to it, man, there's so much good content out there. So many good original creations, original monsters out there, original stories. There's so much good stuff. Like from the Western splatterpunk series by Death's Head Press, which I've had those authors on to talk about those books. Great books. Oh man, if those were made into a movie, it'd be like you take the best of like the Western element of Tombstone with some really intense gore. Some of you guys might be thinking I'm describing Bone Tomahawk. Imagine that, but maybe a bloodier third act, you know, because those books are intense. I think I might have a copy right here. The Magpie Coffin. Yeah, this stuff, this is good. This is solid content right here. This needs to be made into a film because not everybody reads shit. But Hollywood would never do it. You got these original creations. Hell, you got the stories published by Dead Man's Tome. Gotta plug myself. Hollywood would never do it. And because of that, they I think they're destroying themselves. They're doing themselves they're pretty much they're digging a deeper hole for them. And the indie film guys are the ones who are gonna have to come up and look at this original content if they don't have anything of their own and try to see if they could collaborate. But from what I hear, man, indie filmmaking, that's an intense scene too. It's hard to freaking break. I gotta get more indie film guys on Hard Talk Radio to talk about that, so you guys get a better understanding. But I love the following. I love how much of a following that Trevor Henderson has, and how much people really love his creations, and just build like a whole freaking world around it. Like whether you believe it or not, whether it's convincing to you or not, like this stuff, it works, and it's simple. It is simple, but it works. And when I say simple, I don't mean that in a bad way. Don't mean that in a, to belittle it or anything. Like going back to like Cartoon Cat, seems like a pretty simple idea, but it works. Mm-hmm. I think we might have time for one more of these creations. I think this one I really like. This one looks cool. This is the, I think he's called the tunnel worm. Let's see if I get his stuff here.
She was on vacation with her.
Let me pull up that one real fast. The Bridgeworm. My bad. The Bridgeworm. This one is interesting, man. All right, here we go.
The Bridgeworm. The Bridgeworm is a species of creature that makes its habitat the various tunnels across America. It resembles a large, white, fleshy mass with a portion of its head having grooves and markings that resemble a human face. This isn't the Bridgeworm's actual face. Its true face is actually underneath. It can lift this mask of sorts to reveal rows of...
And it's an ugly looking thing. The first face you see is a total fake. It just looks like a very sad, let's see, a little further. I'll just skip right past it. Just skip right past it. Where was it? Where was it? Oh, I guess you can see it right there. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just... It actually kind of looks like a penis with like just three pee holes right there. 3 piss holes. Okay. But looks sad. Looks serious sad. Okay. You walk up to it and it's this thing. Oh my god.
Of sharp teeth and disturbingly human-looking eyes. As it only reveals its true face during hunts, it's assumed that the Bridgeworm has more senses than suggested. There are also 2 long, powerful arms it needs to grow. These clawed appendages allow the Bridgeworm to rapidly move through tunnels by grabbing the walls and rapidly pulling itself forward. The creature also uses its arms to grab its prey and rip it apart with monstrous strength into smaller pieces for easier consumption, though it's not uncommon to just swallow the prey whole.
I like how they combine movie footages. Though I will have to cover that just to make sure, because I think that might be a problem. That might cause a problem.
Its name is actually a misunderstanding because the Bridgeworm is normally discovered in tunnels. It's that the first mentioned viewing was at a tunnel under a bridge, and the name stuck. Tunnels are the creature's hunting grounds, and usually it does so by disabling cars and ripping people out of their car windows, though it's easier if it's just a person walking in the tunnel.
See, like, when you were much younger, tunnels probably scared you. Oh, darkness probably scared you. Maybe even your closet scared you. So the idea that there could be something lurking in there that could snatch you and eat you up, gobble you up. Hey, you know, that works. That's creepy. I could see this being some sort of X-Files special. Every now and then they would have like a more horror episode, more kind of framed. The episode that's coming to mind right now is the one called, I think it was called Mama? I want to check that real fast. It was a strange X-Files episode. I think it was like the first season. And that one was strange. Either Mama or House or something. It had an interesting name. That's not the name of the episode, but it's the one where this inbred family. It was very like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was a cool episode. What was it? Maybe it was just called Home. Okay. No, it was like the 4th season. I think it was called Home. Yeah, it's just called Home, and it was banned. Wow. So the name of the episode I'm talking about is called Home. It's on the X-Files on the 4th season, but it was banned for ever being repeated on Fox due to its graphic nature. There was baby murder, references to incest, and all sorts of nasty stuff going on there. Yeah, that was a wild episode. That's cool.
Its presence can be discovered in several ways. First off, the tunnels it hunts in have broken lights. The acidity of the slime it oozes as it travels is able to eat through the bulbs of the lights. This acid also leaves the tunnel walls and floors unusually smooth. The lack of traction on the floor has led to an increase in accidents for drivers, especially during the winter when this discharged slime freezes. It basically becomes black ice. At first, the multiple vanishings and deaths were attributed to other creatures.
Okay, pretty cool setup. Pretty cool setup. The thing I have is, if this was like a horror novel or horror movie, eventually you'd have to explain how it goes from one tunnel to the next when it gets spotted. Because eventually people are going to figure this out. Like, okay, you got a car crash here. When they go investigate the crash, as police do, might notice how slick the ground is. Like, this is weird. What's this? I think in this video it kind of explains that the creature can skedaddle, can like leave really fast from one tunnel to the next. Okay, we're talking like a giant worm looking thing. It's not going under the ground. It's crawling. Okay, so, and if it's leaving like a trail, you just follow the trail. You know. So, I don't know how much longevity this creature would have. It seems like it would be pretty easy to take down, because you'd find it and then you just take it out.
Creatures, legitimate accidents, and coincidences. But that is when it was discovered that the Bridgeworm isn't just an isolated creature, but rather an invasive species. This creature,
so it's an invasive species of worms. Okay.
Usually seen as a long, white worm-like thing, can bud itself off. It actually explains why there are more survivors than estimated. The creatures don't always attack for subsistence. It will attack a large truck or semi, and during the attack will rip a portion of its tail off and attach it to the undercarriage of the vehicle. After that, the worm will stop its attack and retreat. The driver, having gotten away, will usually write off the attacker's exhaustion from the many hours of driving. They will then keep driving as the bud grows and grows.
Interesting. Okay, so it can kind of leave in that sort of way. It doesn't always kill. It can latch onto vehicles, kind of relocate that way. That'd be cool, kind of cool to work with. Yeah, you could create some pretty good creepypasta stories with that stuff.
Once that driver passes through an unoccupied tunnel, the bud will drop off the truck's undercarriage and then grow into a new bridgeworm. This was discovered when the agency was able to recover one such egg or bud from a survivor, a trucker named Red, and his truck, which he affectionately named Betsy. Red was lucky enough to encounter the back end of the worm as it was filling a tunnel at the time. Before he realized it, the tunnel rapidly vacated itself. Thinking it was a weird snowfall and it being late, Red decided to keep going. Going down the tunnel, Red was attacked by the bridgeworm. It was able to stall out Betsy's engine. It also left several large gashes alongside the cab. Red was lucky enough to get the engine started and was able to escape the chasing bridgeworm. When he got into town, Red reported the incident, and the agency was swift enough to intercept the report and were able to examine the damaged semi-truck.
Okay, so this is the part where I might have, because I have a lot of questions on how this creature would really survive. Because even if it does damage to the truck, I mean, we're talking like, what, he claws it, he bites it, he's going to leave marks. I mean, it's going to leave marks onto the truck. You'd be like, oh man, looks like your truck was attacked by a bear or something. You know, it's going to leave marks. And if it's oozing and stuff, there's gonna be like probably some ooze and shit. You might have to call in some specialists, be like, "What is this stuff?" I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. You know, kind of go from there.
It was then that the Bridgeworm's bud was discovered and taken into custody. Testing it allowed a lot of information to be discovered about the worm. For one thing, it only grows in proportion to the tunnel it is in. The glass tubes we contained it in only let it grow to a 2-foot length, rather than the 30-foot average.
See, like, this could be a pretty good John Carpenter flick, I think. A John Carpenter sort of creature flick. I could see that. I could see it be worked that way.
Found in nature. An important thing to note is that not once did the Bridgeworm attempt to leave its tunnel once it settled. Even when it was physically injured, it wouldn't leave. It can also flatten itself to almost paper thin and adjust its skin to match the tunnel that it makes home.
Okay, well, there you go. It can camouflage. That's how it evades being detected. It can camouflage. It can be the ground, a paper thin ground. Except, what about the oozing slime stuff? That doesn't just go away. You have that residue. So okay, let's say they go to an accident. Let's say there was an accident in the tunnel. They go to the tunnel. They see what appears to be the ground. It has ooze all over it. They start cutting into the, like, I guess brushing it off or trying to collect samples or whatever. Like, what is this stuff? What is this? But they notice that the ground isn't really the ground. It's like cutting into it and it's bleeding. And oh, there you go. You got the worm thing. Now it's gonna be agitated and it's gonna. So I have questions about how this would work.
Impacts don't damage it at all because of this, as it can compress with any blow that...
Impacts don't bother it because it can compress? Okay. Well, what about, like, being stabbed? Being cut into?
hits it. Fire doesn't do anything, as the slime that it constantly produces is inflammable, nor does freezing. Cutting the worm is...
Can't freeze it, can't burn it, can't crush it. You leave stabbing. That's what you leave. You leave stabbing, and maybe acid or something. I don't know. Maybe a good old chainsaw. How about that? A 50 cal would do the trick, right? Shoot it. Shoot that thing. So yeah, that is the Bridgeworm. These creations are cool. And the reason I'm showing this once again is, man, it would be great to see some of this original stuff once again be in on the big screen. Man, there was a time when horror was original. And those originals were created in weird ways. Like I said, the alien in the movie Alien, its origin is kind of interesting. It's very, very phallic looking, right? I mentioned this too. Michael Myers was pretty much he was just wearing a William Shatner mask. It was just inside out. Okay. The hockey mask that that's iconic to Jason. First off, he didn't get that mask until like the third one, and when he got it, it was just because I think the stunt guy had that mask in the back of his car. So that's how it got that. New blood needs to come in. These indie guys need to come in. Whatever it is they have to do, I wouldn't be surprised if there's gatekeepers, keeping them down, making it difficult for them to get onto the streaming services and things. It's just, we need to see more original stuff. That's what I'm getting at here. And I definitely enjoy how much of a sort of like fan base, how much love that Trevor Henderson gets from the stuff, from the creations. Like I said, dedicated channels on this stuff. If you don't believe me, just look up Siren Head videos. There's so much stuff there. And they get like millions of views, man. Shit. People love it. People love it. So out of the out of the Trevor Henderson creations I talked about here, there's a Bridgeworm, there was the Siren Head, there was Cartoon Cat, the Country Road creation, Country Road creature. Which one did you like the most? I like Siren Head. I think Siren Head's pretty cool, pretty funny, cool and funny. It's odd. Like I wouldn't think, oh yeah, just put sirens on this large monstrosity and make it work. But you could do a lot with it. It's not overpowered. You know, it has weaknesses. It could be, identified eventually. But it would be fun to work with. Is what you can do. You can mimic voices, you can impersonate loved ones. You can create just imagine if you were to make like a Siren Head story or Siren Head show or movie or whatever. All you had to just imagine a situation where you have these people that hear like this alarm. Let's say like alert, you need to evacuate the area immediately. You need to evacuate the area immediately. And so all these people leave from their like trailer park or wherever they're at. They leave. As they leave, this thing just comes in, swoops them all up, eats them. Because they did what they were told. They're following the warning. Of course, people would see it though, be like, oh my god, freak out. People with cell phones spot that thing, and then it just goes away. You can create all sorts of havoc, all sorts of fun stuff with that shit, man. Imagine Siren Head being outside of a school or a mall and making like the air raid siren, which I don't know if anyone would know how to respond to that. Or what if it said like, warning, nuclear bomb detected. I don't know, man. You could do a lot with it. Just to create hysteria and panic. Yeah, the voice mimicry is probably the creepiest thing about it. Yeah, mimicry. Yeah, you could on a personal level you can lure someone out. But see, if Siren Head can do that, that tells me that it must have some sort of I wonder if it could like read minds in a way that kind of makes it seem a little overpowered, but. How's it sensing that? Anyway, I'll wrap up the stream here. This was fun. Air raids are everybody's daddy. Yeah. Duck and cover, man. Yep. Duck and cover. Oh man, you could do all sorts of stuff. You could do like SWAT open up. You could do. Oh shit. Siren Head could play pranks, or can annoy people, playing like Baby Shark over and over again. Calling everybody cucks and virgins. I don't know, man. It seems like you could do a lot with him. You could make it comedic, or you can make it kind of like a psychological horror. You could do a lot with them. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. This has been fun. I will probably stream tomorrow around noon. It depends what happens at work. Anyway, y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good one.